Welcome to Wedded Whispers, the ultimate podcast that takes you behind the scenes of the wedding industry from a DJ's perspective. It's not just about the music, it's about crafting unforgettable moments. From romantic slow dances to high energy beats, we are the architects of the dance floor magic. Join us as we unravel the secrets of creating the perfect ambiance, reading the crowd, and keeping the party alive all night long. Timing is everything, knowing when to build the anticipation, when to drop the ultimate party anthem. But it's not just about the party. We'll explore the emotional journeys, share personal stories, and reveal the art of creating the soundtrack to the most important day of someone's life. Collaboration is key. Working with talented vendors enhances the overall experience, ensuring every element aligns perfectly. In each episode, we'll be joined by the best in the wedding business, florists, photographers, caterers, and more, to give you a 360-degree view of what it takes to orchestrate the perfect day. Flowers aren't just decorations, they tell a story. Capturing those candid moments is what makes a wedding album timeless. And the way to a guest's heart is through your taste buds. Subscribe now to Wedded Whispers, where the spotlight is not only on the music, but on the entire symphony of professionals who make weddings magical. Welcome to Wedded Whispers. I'm your DJ Willie D, your host. Let's just do a little background check. Who is DJ Willie D? Well, I've got about 24 years, nearly 25 years in the entertainment industry. Came up in bands, toured, done the whole bar bands thing. I've done karaoke in just about every local bar and pub in the area. I've been a wedding DJ for coming up on 15 years. I've seen a lot. I've done a lot. I'm also a lighting and audio engineer, so I've got some experience there as well. Things that we're going to be talking about on this podcast, and it's going to be a lot. My goal here is to, one, educate the wedding market, and because traditionally we've done a pretty poor job at educating our clients, our potential clients, the wedding market at large, at what is reasonable, what is real, the misinformation that's out there from certain big companies that are atop the search results when you look for any question wedding. Not that they don't have some good information, but there's a lot of misinformation and just bad information on some of these sites. And our goal here is to give you the truth and to help you navigate this bear that is wedding planning. And the topics that we're going to be talking about, setting budgets, choosing your vendors, meeting with your vendors. Meeting with your vendors is going to be a recurring topic here because I don't think we can stress that enough. Knowing your vendors and meeting with them in person, to kind of see what that vibe is and to make sure they're a good fit for you, because we really want that. It's a two-way thing. I can tell you that every vendor that I've ever worked with will say the same thing. We want to make sure we're a good fit just as much as you want to see if we're a good fit. It goes both ways, because if we don't see that we are a good fit for you, maybe you're looking for a DJ that, specializes in a certain genre of music. And, the last thing that a DJ wants to do is sign a contract with you, not without seeing you, have you go through a funnel, and then you get to the planning phase and you're wanting, say, 90%, West Coast hip hop, and they're a country DJ. We don't want that. Nobody wants that. So it's important to, go through that vetting process and communicate well and make sure, your vendors are a good fit for you. We're going to talk about managing guest lists and handling logistics, their checklists and all of that. We're going to have some of the best professionals, the wedding professionals in this region, come on this podcast to kind of rap about their role specifically, and our roles as they complement each other during the day of the biggest day of potentially your life. Some of the things we'll go through with some of our guests moving forward, budgets, realistic expectations, the misnomer that there's a such thing as a perfect wedding. Trust me, I've never seen a perfect wedding. Now, I have seen a lot of weddings where a lot of things went wrong in the background, but it was still perfect in the eyes of the couple. Everything that they wanted done got done. All the pictures that they wanted got taken, and things went well, and they loved it. And it was in their eyes, it was a perfect day. There's no such thing as a perfect wedding. Things were gonna happen. We're gonna get to some of the hard topics, such as you know budget, because sometimes money truly is the matter. And more money doesn't necessarily always mean a better wedding. We're going to talk about your DIY projects, and sometimes it's not cheaper, but most of the time, if you're doing some DIY stuff, it's going to be more stressful. So you just have to be aware of the time it's going to take away from other items that you should be focusing on. I'm going to tackle things like who's paying for certain things, because sometimes people are paying for maybe uncle's paying for the DJ, maybe mom's paying for the venue, and maybe stepdad is paying for catering, and sometimes those dollars come with suggestions. So we'll talk about how to navigate some of that. We're going to spend a lot of time talking about planning. Planning, one of the biggest things that I can say before we even move forward with this is that I encourage you to start planning a year out. A year out gives you a really good timeline. There's some people will say that you can plan a successful wedding, in 30 days. It is almost never the case. Almost never the case. Now, if you pick the right vendors, if you should happen to come up on all of the right vendors who've been, experienced in this, and this is not necessarily going to be the case either, because a lot of the good vendors are booked a year up. Some of them are booked up 2 years in advance. So, the more time you give yourself, the better you're going to set yourself up for a less stressful planning season, and a lot better success. We'll go through the timeline on the planning from a year out to 8 months out to 6 months, 4 months, and down to a month out, and even day before and day of. We're going to go through all of these items, and like I said, we're going to have a lot of good guest hosts come on here, some DJs from the Nashville area and Knoxville, and hopefully some guys from the Chattanooga area. We're going to have planners, decor, photographers, videographers, and again, the best in the region, and even hopefully beyond the region. But we're going to focus on all of the planning items, all of the tips and tricks to make your wedding planning process easier, and hopefully lead you to have a more successful event, a more realistic expectation of your vendors and what's going to happen day of, and hopefully sets you up for a truly relaxing, enjoyable day, for what should be the most enjoyable day of your life, your wedding day. So stick with us here at Wedded Whispers. If you have a topic you'd like discussed here on the podcast, just drop it down there in the Q&A section, or you can send it to us at weddedwhispers@gmail.com. That's weddedwhispers@gmail.com. You can also find me across social media at DJ Willie D. You won't have any problems finding me there. But thank you for hanging out with us. I hope you hang around for the future content, and I hope you find it useful. We'll see you between now and then.